So I'm never going to not game at a table area if the table area is there. Period. I'll feel like I'm not going to be in the peasant area, right? You're all, after this talk, you guys are all too good to be gaming in the peasant area. You know why? Because any girl you fuck in the table area is immediately going to be hotter and a better personality, right? than any girl at the bar or on the dance floor, right? Okay? Right? So what ends up happening, right? When I do that table area thing, right, what you guys understand is any one of you guys can get to table areas, you might not quite be ready to do the bottle trick that I talk about. So I'll tell it to you, right? So the bottle trick is I'll go up to a table and either I'll do this to him or I'll get him to do it to me. And my goal is to open every person at that table by doing something that is a extreme spectacle of grandeur. So what I'm doing is, my goal is to have somebody pour the alcohol from an upper platform deck area of the table into my mouth, but I want them to mix it with the vodka and the OJ. And because the spouts that are on these alcohol bottles, if you tilt them at the right angle, I mean, it's not even that, it's pretty simple to get the right angle, you'll actually see it mix slightly, and into your mouth, you're now drinking OJ vodka. But the key is to do it as high up in the air as possible, and then you get a girl to take a photo of you on her phone, so then you get the number close, the hottest girl in the group, without you even having to open her. And it's this huge spectacle. It takes about 2 minutes to do. Some of the hottest girls I've ever gotten were because of this. They're just like, what are you, I don't understand, what? They're just like, they are flabbergasted, right? Because I'm walking up and I'm grabbing this dude's table, and some of these guys don't like it, right? But you do it, and the more aggressive you can be with it, the better it's going to work, right? Now again, I'll tell you some stuff if this is a little bit too aggressive for you. But I'll go up and I'll be like, yo, here, you. And usually what I'll do is I'll pour it in his mouth first. Or if I see that the guy's like going to be super prick about it, I'll go take an empty bottle off somebody else's table. I'll go swipe the goose off of it. I'll bring it with me and say, what's up, table neighbor? And then they'll look at me and go, oh, what up? I'll go, you want a fucking shot? And the guy's like, sure. And I'll tilt his head back. I'll even take the napkin, just to be cute about it. I'll tilt it with the napkin. Right, I'll like pour the vodka in. Oh, fucked up, woo, whatever. And the guy's like, oh yeah, right. And then he's like 95% of the time, what do you think happens?
I fucking love this guy.
Clearly, but what does he say? You think? Your turn. Yeah. Right. And again, like if I drink, I want to drink like a lot in one night and then not for several months. Like I don't want to like casually drink once in a while. Like it's just my sleep schedule can't handle it. It's just kind of silly. So if I'm going to do this deal, like be prepared to like either fake the alcohol thing or be prepared to like get doused in alcohol. So do this with like a group of girls that, I mean, do this with the Maxim models, right? Do this with some playmates. Like this will work extremely well to cold approach a social circle. Do you understand that? I don't want you to think that another like kind of key thing with this whole deal is social circle games should not be this long-term thing you have to build up. You can infiltrate the social circle and now make it your own social circle. You understand? So this is one of those ways, but your spectacle of grandeur has to be extra large in order for this to happen, right? So if you don't want to do this whole bottle trick that I just described, just walk up and say, what's up, table neighbor? What does that imply? You also have one, right? We crushed Vegas with this one. Just destroy it, because there's so many tables and so many beautiful girls. My guys are just going up to every single table being like, what's up, table neighbor? What's up, table neighbor? And they're just like, oh, what up, what up? And eventually, like, the guys just, yeah, it's awesome. It works so well. Status is a form of game, right? I don't know what the other, for me, there's no mindset, like non-neediness to me isn't game. That's just a thing that you shouldn't be, right? Or you should be rather, right? Other things, right? You should always be self-amusing yourself. Like these kind of cornerstone RSD concepts, that's not game, that's just personality building. That's the whole personal development category. Do you understand? You can't go be not needy to that group of girls and then pull a girl because they just sense how not needy you really are, right? They're not really gonna, like that doesn't really work that way. Do you understand? So instead, you use status because you have control over it, right? It's like you don't want to be like sad about the things in your life you have no control over, right? Because you can't do anything about it, so fuck it, right? Same thing with game. Like if you're going to actually put this effort into game, put effort into something you have control over. And you have full control over this status at a very high leverage kind of way. You don't have even full leverage over like verbal game, like outer game, because she might not laugh at your joke. Two different parallels, right? At minimum, you should be doing a long-term social circle game, because you might as well just be getting the numbers of every girl that you failed the close with, right? And then just invite them out to stuff at minimum. Right? There's no way I'm going to open a set and leave that set without a number that at least she can be pre-selection for me in the future, or at least we can do something again in the future. You understand? Like I'm not gonna think about all these like missed opportunities of you like running like a 20-minute set. The girl like laughed at your jokes, but she didn't want to suck you off. You might as well at least keep that girl alive for a little bit, right? Yeah. But when I use social circle game, I use social circle game to get to the 9s and 10s so that I can same night lay within that social circle. I'm not really, I mean, that's not altruistic. I'm not here to like make a lot of friends. You know? I mean, you can make a lot of friends with it. I mean, I don't want half the room to like walk out the door when I'm like, oh, I'm not here to make friends. It's kind of like when I say like, I don't care about happiness. Or I care about success more than happiness. Right? I did a Nashville talk and was like, I talked for like an hour longer because half the room was just like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Happiness is the goal and everything. I'm just like, well, I'm just kind of happy all the time. Like, especially when you build your social circle up over time, every month that goes by, you'll see that you just get, think about it, how much happier are you if you get 10 invites to cool parties this week and you didn't have that last week? You're more validated, you feel it, right? It happens. With no game, you just suddenly, your state is better, right? So I use my social circle long-term benefits to increase just my overall satisfaction, my overall well-being. Most of those events I don't even go to. But knowing that I break up with a girl, I can just immediately get another one within a few hours at this cool event that most people can't even get into, that's something that increases my mood, right? But for me personally, I'm using social circle stuff to fuck that girl that night, and then maybe I'll meet some cool people out of it. But I'm using it at a very short-term basis.
Your social circle if you're just like
Not if you're doing it properly. The way to do it properly to get started, right, is you build as many individual social circles as possible, and you treat them as circles that are like spinning, right? So right now I have like 12 to 15 social circles happening at once. 2 of them are super strong, and the rest are just kind of existing. But there's always a lot of overlap between them, and that's like how I met Dan Bilzerian, right? I had like 5 social circles that were happening. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew if I just could put these in place, within several months, I was going to be at his house. And then once I'm there, I knew that the other social circles, right, there's an effect that would happen, right, where they just randomly be talking about this guy named Frank, right? I go, oh, you mean Frank Napoli? Or Napoli? He's like, yeah, how do you know Frank? Oh, I know Frank for a while, yeah. And like, I'm not trying to pretend like I know him a lot more than I do. I'm just like, yeah, I know him, not too well. This is one of the keys to doing this whole, there's this like aggressive people arbitrage that you can do that a lot of people fuck this up and they'll just say that they know the person really, really well. I have a friend who will do this and he won't even know the person at all. He will never even met them. And then he'll just like climb through friends circles and eventually he knows like the king of that social group and like 5 people are pissed, but it doesn't matter because he already met the king of the group. And he just, that's not really my style, but it works really well for him. What I like to do is, start these different social circles in these like kind of peripheral areas. And then what ends up happening is this effect where if you do fuck up, what ends up happening is you are so known in that group and there's like a 2 degrees of separation that sucks you back in and it's like a very forgiving kind of net. Does that make sense? It's pretty wild. When you can fuck up a lot of shit and then like I've almost been kicked out of many, many clubs, right? In Vegas and Miami especially. But like I always have a couple degrees of separation away from like a manager and the owner. I don't know either one that well, but like everyone knows that I kind of know both. So that overlap gives me like immense value. Does that make sense?
yeah.
And I take advantage of that overlap all the time. Social game is not a when the thing happens, right? It's not a when I meet the guy who wants to buy the bottles, I'll then introduce him to the GM. Yeah. That's what turns it into a very quick opportunity for you. I will decide that if I want to fuck this cocktail waitress, I need the manager to like me because what is that manager trying to do? Trying to fuck the cocktail waitress. So at least I need him to let me stay in the club an hour past close while they do this weird thing called inventory. I don't even know what that is, but it takes forever and it's the biggest cock block ever if you fucking hire guns, right? So what ends up happening is if I need to meet that guy, I'm not going to go through life being like, oh, when I meet a guy who wants to buy bottles. No, I'm going to go up to a guy and I'm going to say, oh, get lit. You want another one, don't you? And he's like, what'd you say? I said, another one. Oh, you're so funny. I know, right? Yo, let's do it. And I'll make him drink his whole bottle of alcohol. It's 12:30, and then guess what he's going to do? He's going to buy another bottle. Yeah. And then I'm saying, oh, you know what? Hey, I can hook you up. I know the manager. Yeah. Even if like you've never met him before. Yeah. Right? He's not going to call you out on not knowing the manager. As guys, we have these like high expectations of the labels that we put on things and how we know people. No, you know him because you at least have his name, right? Yeah. And you know what he looks like. I'm saying even if you don't, let's make this. I want to make this very controlled. Yeah. So let's take these cool factors out of it a little bit. Okay. You go up to that guy, or just have a little bit of gregariousness, right? Now the reason it seems like a lot of work, but all of a sudden once you do these like 3 steps, you're now at that table. You have a spot to sit. I don't know about you, but like I'd rather sit in game. Like my real game, I'm sitting in one spot and I'm like looking over left and right. I'm gaming, right? Because there's no hotter girls anywhere else. So there's no point in me running around the club because the hotter girls are right here in front of me, right? So by doing these like 2 to 3 things with the whole manager thing that he just did, he avoids him having to go off and now do all this other work. I think it's a lot more work to run around the club and like succeed or fail, succeed or fail, succeed or fail. Now that he's intertwined with this guy, with the bottle, with the manager, he tells the manager that now the manager's not going to cockblock him because he got a sale for him, right? And now you're at that table, and now the guy's going to introduce you to the 8 girls that are at the table. So now you're getting 8 introductions, accomplishment introductions, right? No wing. What wing is going to do that for you in one night, right? Yeah. And now they set you firmly up against that table because you're kind of running shit. Okay, so you're up in the back. You know, you do the table seat, which is where you sit up on top, right? And again, if a lot of you guys who might be thinking, you know, that you don't want to do the whole table thing or whatever, well, then you're just not going to game hot enough girls. You know, there just aren't hot girls that are going to places that don't have at least some VIP type of area, right? And if it's not a table, it's a VIP area with the wristband, right? Like Seattle's all about the wristbands. There's other places that are have their own VIP area, right? But it's all about being in that area because that's the whole point of what these girls are trying to do. They're trying to get to that area. So if you're already there, you employ what's called barrier to entry game, right? So barrier to entry game is something I realized a long time ago that the harder thing that I'm doing first makes everything else easier. The bigger the barrier to entry is of what I'm trying to do, the maximum party, right? The first maximum party I went to, I had a staff pass because the VIP pass wasn't good enough. So I'm going to make sure I got a staff pass, which then got me like in the back and like I could hit on everybody. I was talking with Nick Jonas and we're up there. I mean, like I literally had a certain, I have infield of him filming me, filming Nick Jonas and all the girls. Well, I'm like, I don't know anything about cameras, but I have these are all, I have my cameras for my RSD, my day job, right? So I'm up there on the Maxim stage, being a videographer, filming up in all these girls' chili, right? I'm like up in all of it. And I'm like, twerk, girl, you want a Birkin, you better start twerking. Half the time the thing's not even fucking on. Like I don't know, like it's overexposed. Like the fact that any of it actually made it in the final reel blew my mind. Like I literally have no idea what I'm doing with it. I'm like, ISO, why is this so bright? All right, I'll spin it the other way. And then I'm like, wait, there's a girl who's like, meanwhile, the whole time, this girl's just like doing all these like slutty dance moves in front of me because I have a camera. I'm like, oh, I'm paying attention to the wrong thing. So then I just start going like this, and she's getting all slutty. And then what do? I say, hey, do you want to come look at the footage later? She's like, yeah, oh, could I? I go, of course. So I do, I pop the fucking card out, and then I get her number, right? I didn't end up closing that girl. There was like a stampede on the exit, but she works at Town Vegas, so she's still on the hook. Yeah. But she's one of those bodybuilder chicks. So like every other time I see her, she's overweight. You know what I'm talking about? Like every other time I see her, I'm like, God, you're so sexy, your ass. And every other time, I'm like, who are you? Bulking. Yeah, she's bulking. I don't know. You want me to bulk? Yeah. Okay, so I taught Michael this game, right? This social game, and he's taken this way further than I have. Like, I mean, I like to do more with my life. I mean, he's already rich, so like I'm not there. So like I have shit I'm doing, right? But he's rich, so he doesn't spend any money on anybody, and he is completely sober, 0 alcohol in his life. So he's fitting in this very weird niche of a guy who goes out 5 nights a week, doesn't drink, doesn't spend any money, but has more money than everybody. Like it's a very, like his couch is like this old ratty couch. His apartment's like, like $1,500 for a 2-bedroom. I mean, it's Vegas, right? But I mean, the point is, like, he could be buying everybody drinks, and he just doesn't, and he doesn't buy his own drinks either. 0 alcohol. Like,
is that the guy?
Not. Huh?
Is that the guy who did a video?
Where Todd had that like weird hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the video. Mike is. Yeah.
He's in Vegas.
Yeah. He's my best friend.
So why?
Yeah. I built up a lot of my social circles in Scottsdale, Atlanta. He helped me with a lot of girls. Yeah. I mean, so there are calculations. Anybody ever see Boys and Girls Guide to Getting Down? Yeah, how awesome and horrible is that movie? Like every PUA should watch that and Spread, right? Spread. I mean, that's the #1 movie every PUA should watch. Spread. Raise your hand if you've seen Spread. Come on, Jarrett. Okay. Of course. Is Ashton Kutcher playing a pickup artist? If Ashton Kutcher was a pickup artist, Ashton Kutcher is the PUA technical advisor for the show, for the movie. It's amazing. Like, yeah. I make every one of my Vegas month-long guys watch it at least once. It's amazing. It's perfect. It's the only Hollywood movie that you could be like, oh yeah, I'll do all of that and I'll get laid. Huh? I don't know the girl. She's like She's like a cousin of Scarlett Johansson, kind of. The reason I mention that is there's a thing called the Cahuenga principle. In the Boys and Girls Guide to Getting Down, there's all these funny calculations for how much alcohol you should buy and what you should tip and all these funny. It's like a 30-minute explanation. It's ironic if you see it. But the alcohol thing. Here's the thing. It all depends on how much money you're willing to spend and what type of lifestyle you're willing to live. Right? Anybody here a lawyer, doctor, professional type of setup? Like you're decent and you don't mind drinking and you want to fuck some girls. So, I mean, like I already looked at you like, and the guy in the white shirt. I've been looking at you like on this one for a while, right? Like, what do you do? What are you, a lawyer, doctor? What are you?
I do marketing for a law firm.
Okay, so similar, like professional type shit.
Conferences.
Okay, cool. The reason I mention is this. This isn't like, you know, for the 3 people in the room, right? The rest of the seminar is going to only be for you 3. I want you to understand this as an example, and then we'll extrapolate it into all of your guys' different situations that you have, right? Ending it with yours because you asked the question. I have guys in my life who are some of the best wings of mine that I have the guy who's my buddy, right? He's the bottle guy who doesn't want comps. He'd be offended if you even got him a comp. He wants to buy 2 to 3 bottles every night he goes out. Not crazy, he's not balling out, but he owns a dental practice. I think if I had his kind of money, I don't think I would be spending this kind of money on bottles, but it's something he enjoys. He's got these bright blue contact lenses, and he's this tall. He's Indonesian or Indian, something like that, and he fucks hotter girls than all of us in this room combined. He wears blue colored contacts. He gets really drunk. He always has girls at his house. He always brings the after party back, and he rails girls. Like, it's crazy. But he plays this angle of like, he's a professional, right? Everyone knows he's a bit of a, he's got a day job, professional. He's very responsible at the end of the day. But then you can always find him at the bar just smashing shots, but he's like giving shots away freely. My buddy, he owns one of the biggest personal injury law firms in the South. He's like literally the best, like him and his wife. Like I went to his wedding. My first infield pickup on my RSD Luke channel is at his wedding. So him and his wife literally just go and try to fuck as many strippers and cocktail waitresses and girls as possible. Like they'll go on vacation and they'll like text me how many girls they both rail together. Like he's just awesome. And like his whole deal is he will get active. He just loves alcohol. He will get drunk with his with his individual people that are at the bar that he's never met before. He's just like, but the thing for him is he's just like giving it away freely. And he looks at it like it's networking as well. So I don't do quite the way that he does it, but he'll do like, 5, 10 shots. Oh, cool. Here, go for it. And like, he'll just turn his back and then go back to what he was doing. Right. Again, that's not really applicable or practical for most of the guys in this room, but that's a good benchmark to then pull ourselves back from. Because you also don't want to be the guy who like literally goes into the club and then like you avoid the bar at all costs. Yeah, I mean, any of you guys ever feel that way where you go in? Because I've done this where like I knew that I wasn't going to spend $1 in the place, and then I just like kind of like walked around, and I like every time I make eye contact with the bartender, I was like, no, I'm good. Yeah. I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. And again, I'm not trying to get you guys to spend money. I just want to show you like these different paths that you can take here, right? And again, a lot of this comes down to you see that 9 or 10, you pull out all the fucking stops that you're willing to pull out, right? So that you don't pull out. Oh, right? You don't do this on the 5s to 7s. Like, there's no way on earth I would ever like take a shot with a 6. Like, I'm good. I'm not gonna put that stupid shit down my throat, right? If you're willing to buy at least 1 drink per night, right? Because then what do? You buy a bottle of water, or you buy soda water from the gun with a lime, right? Both have their advantages and disadvantages. But let's not pretend like that's not going to always make your game better, right? Now again, if you don't want to spend the money, like to kind of answer your question, you can spend 0, right? But what you have to realize that when you go to that bar, you're not going to be able to use that as social proof as much, right? So which is fine. You just have to realize that that's the game that you're playing. You understand? Cool. Ideally, what you do is you create this hub against the bar, right? So first of all, you want to do the triangle pattern. So now we're going to get, we covered a lot of like random tangential stuff. I want to cover some brass tacks stuff for you guys, okay? When I walk into a place, when I say what I do as well, by the way, this is like an actual ideal situation. This isn't what I do every time. This is like a perfect night. This is how it's going to go. But I'll probably forget. I probably, like you said, it's a lot of fucking work. I'm probably not going to do the full 100%. I'm going to get like, intuitively, I'm probably going to do 50%, and the rest I'm just going to forget about, right? So what I do is when I walk in that bar, I want to know what I'm doing every minute of the night for the entire duration of the night. Unless I'm trying to do the opposite and just let loose with my buddies, but then it's not a game kind of thing, right? You guys understand this? So what I do is I pick 3 points when I go into the bar. And this is gonna sound super analytical, by the way, right? After a few times of doing this, you just forget about it and you'll just naturally be doing it. Your intuition will kick in. You pick 3 points. So I pick the entryway usually, the bar, and the bathroom. If I pick those 3 points and I open along the left and the right of these 3 points, it looks like I'm going somewhere. I'm not doing the whole fucking bobblehead thing, right? The PUA bobblehead, where like you see a girl over here, you look over here, and then you kind of walk over here, right? You pick those 3 points, you just kill all those problems. It'll never happen again, okay? You can't build any social circle game or cold approach game at that point if you're doing this whole like, oh, where do I go now? I don't know where I'm going, right? Anybody ever fall into that trap? Right? I mean, all of us have at some point in time, right, where you don't really know exactly what your path is for the night. You pick those 3 points, you open along those 3 points, you're going to have not only a path that you hit once, so it looks like you're doing everything on purpose, because you are doing things on purpose, but what ends up happening is you get the mere exposure effect to kick in, where you end up reopening sets over and over and over again, right? Which should be super familiar to you, right? Jarrett?
Oh, yeah.
Mere exposure? Cool, cool. That's like a cornerstone of those guys. Mere exposure. Mere exposure is another one of these funny scientific things that actually builds attraction a lot more than, like, feel it. Just know that you're attractive. You are enough. Cool, so ask it up here just so we can, yeah, just so we can keep everybody on the, because we have a small enough group, we can keep everyone on the same page. Mere exposure, super simply, you just see the person over and over and over again, and it builds up comfort and attraction over time. Just because you've merely exposed yourself to them over and over and over again. Not expose yourself, expose yourself. I had one guy once on a, no, okay.
Are you serious? One guy,
Yeah.
literally?
I mean, many guys actually have exposed. Now that I think about it, let's get back to the thing, right? So categories of openers, right? There's 6 categories of openers you could possibly do, right? I have a video about it. Just look up on my channel. There's 6 categories of openers. I put direct on there, even though I don't do direct that often. I put direct on there because I do it, and it's a valid one that you guys can do, right? You understand the nightclub is an arcade, like it's a game. So even if you go direct and like you failed, like, go to the bathroom, come back, and she might completely have changed her tune, and you could just reopen direct again. I probably wouldn't, but you easily could. Like, it'd be funny and might work, right? The Nintendo reset button happens throughout your night many, many times, right? All of a sudden she got a text. All of a sudden her Tinder date's not going to be here. All of a sudden she had, half a shot and it was something that she didn't want. All of a sudden her friend came, or this or that, and then suddenly your direct open you used 30 minutes ago. As guys, we think that like she meant all the stuff she said, right?
Yeah.
It's like they all have amnesia.
But like repetitive, persistent amnesia every few seconds, right? Exactly. But you can use this to your advantage, right? So my favorite type of opener is a very suggestive compliment opener based on something she's worked for or attained, right?
Yeah.
With a walk away. Like, so I have a pretty structured game if I'm going to do like my real perfect game, right? Like if I'm doing, so I have a huge bet. It's a 6-figure bet, which is hopefully going to go well in my favor, and it's a bet that is going to have a lot of publicity. Basically on me having the ability to fuck a certain amount of girls that somebody else picks. It's going to be pretty interesting. So I basically like popped off. I was like, yeah, I could fuck 50% of girls that I meet, like in a Starbucks. And there's a bunch of people at the table that are big, or at the area that I was in that were big. It's like a dinner table, not a nightclub table. And they were like, well, fuck that shit. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I go, no, I mean, I do it. Like we can do it. And they're like, oh shit. And we got the cameras out. We filmed this whole thing. So we're just picking like which Starbucks it's going to be. We're going to go in and like do this whole thing. I have to fuck the girl within 4 weeks. So each one, right? So it'll be a whole interesting kind of bet. So when I have a bet like that, or something that I know, when I have a massive outcome dependence, I'm going to open as low risk, low reward as possible, right? Because I want to catch all. I'm literally going to walk up and I'm going to do Adam's line, right? Do you know where the nearest Starbucks is? Right? Do you know where the cream is? Do you know where the sugar is? Like I'm literally asking something super boring and simple, because I know that if I can do that and I get just one bit of feedback back to me, right? She says one thing to me. I can build that up from there. I can build the attraction and close. But if I go direct and she's just not into it, or even if she is into it, it puts too much pressure on her and she doesn't vibe with it, right? I'm fucked. There's not really anywhere I can go from there, right? I could leave and come back, I guess, but in the daytime it doesn't work as well. It's super simple, right? So it's super simple. Ideally, you do the double take. You walk past the girl. When they say thanks, it sucks you back to the conversation. So ideally, you're like, holy shit, amazing shoes. I love the way they match your belt. Keep it up. You walk away. She says,
Thanks.
oh wow, you're actually really friendly. Where are you from?
There we go. Okay.
And then whatever answer she says, you tease aggressively on. And I'm super suggestive with it, right? So the whole point of what I'm doing is trying to flip the script and get her to invest in me as quickly as possible. without it being this long drawn out thing where I'm trying to pump value or do all these other things, right? If you're walking away, are you needy or not needy? Not needy, right? The beautiful part of that line, right, is you're actually really friendly, where are you from?
Yeah.
It's called a positive frame, right, with the qualifier. So, well, you're actually really friendly, where are you from? She's going to be really friendly for the next sentence that she said because you dictated that she was going to be friendly. And the thing is this, like, the problem with that, or I mean, that works really well, and I see why you do that, but you're going to understand there's going to be lots of girls who are genuinely nice that just aren't nice to the random guy that they meet.
Right.
So, like, none of these girls are bitches, or at least if they are bitches, you're not going to know it in a few seconds. Right? And even seriously, you're not, because even if a lot of times it's the inverse is also true. A lot of times some of the biggest bitches and whores are super nice at first just because they're fake nice, right? So like you never really know. Basically the point is you don't know for sure within 30 seconds. So you shouldn't really be judging if the girl's nice or not right away.
Yeah.
Right? The cool thing about this type of opener is immediately you're going to start disqualifying aggressively, which means you're putting her in the friend zone. Right? So when you put her in the friend zone and you're being sexually suggestive verbally, that means that you have the option to pull her that night or just put her in your longer term pipeline for your social circle. Does you understand?
Yeah.
Cool. So a very simple one, right? A good framework would be, wow, you're actually really friendly. Where are you from? She says Texas, and you say,
Are you like everybody from Texas?
yeah, are you?
Is it true what they say about
Yeah, I mean that's an easy framework. Oh, is it true what they say about girls from Texas?
Yeah.
I think it says the free tour, right? Like I don't ever know. Like I don't have an answer to back that up with. Like if she pressures me on it, I have no idea. I don't know. But then I push.
She does. You just flip.
Then I'm like, oh, it's fucking true, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
I knew it.
That's good. Yeah.
Right? I mean, you just call them out on
Put
it,
it
right?
right back on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Like the more that she fights back, the more that she must really be that thing. Yeah. So the friend thing. So I'm the king at getting people out of the friend zone, because I determine if I'm going to be a social circle guy, I also need to be a let's fuck your friends guy. Does that make sense? To the point where any girl that I fuck, within minutes afterward, I say, oh, do you want to go to brunch? And she goes, every girl wants to go to brunch at any point in the day, right? And doing as much traveling as I do, sometimes I'm warped on time. So sometimes it'll be like midnight. I'll be like, you want to go to brunch? And like I'll meet a girl in like Cincinnati, and she's like, do you, what? So anyway, with you, right, with your situation, you have to be super sexual. I guess to kind of encapsulate what I was just saying, it's really funny because I'll actually have a rule that any girl I fuck, I'll fuck her friends. So when I say let's go to brunch, the whole point is for me to date two her girlfriends. Right? I'm literally doing network marketing pussy. I'm trying to drive through the network, right?
And do you say like,
I was,
or
huh?
is that kind of implied? Like bring your friends?
No. There's no implication. I say, do you want to go to brunch? I get that yes ladder. She says yes. I go, amazing. Bring your friends. And she goes, what? I go, who's your best friend? And like this time I'm still I just pulled out of her. I'm like, yeah, you want to go to brunch? I'm like, I'm just kind of hungry I want some eggs, right? And then she goes, well, my best friend's Stacy. I go, what's she doing right now? I don't know. And she goes, you know what? I think she actually was on a Tinder date. I go, let's see how bad it went. That's always fun. And she goes, oh, okay. Or I think she's off for more. Whatever she says. I go, cool. Hey, bring her. Really? Yeah, it'd be fun. I want to meet your friends. Okay, cool. Right? Do you have any others? Yeah. Why? Because hey, I'm a friendly social guy. It'd be cool. And then I ruthlessly flirt with all of them the second they show up. Dude, you want to know the best time to pick up a chick is like minutes after you fuck one. Like, oh my God. Oh yeah, it's true. Like, there's probably some scientific shit too that one of you guys fucking nerds know about more than I do.
Grandmas and shit.
Seriously, it's called the stanky leg. The stanky leg. You yeah, there you go. You fuck one chick with the condom, and then you just pull it out. And you do the stanky leg. So anyway, the point. I'm like Tosh pointed out. I'll keep making these jokes more heinous until one person's laughing, and then I know I won. So then you thought you'd like set the thing straight and really see where she stands.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. No. No. So hand holding, first of all, like the hand holding thing is not a good thing, right? It's hand holding is kind of bad. Like switch hand hold to arm in arm. Done. Like I've just doubled your game. Seriously, arm in arm through anywhere. Because you could fuck the girl who you're arm in arm with, but you're also still being the protector. But it's not the hands, so it's not as pervy and fucking romantic and shit. Yeah. Right? If you're gonna do the hands, do like the fucking dangling pinky. Right? I like to punish girls. I have these different ways that I classically condition girls. And so like I'll do like the 3-finger one, right? When I respect her when things are going well. And then if she pissed me off, Like I'll let some time pass, and I'll hold the pinky instead. When you do that, I mean, it sounds so horrible. When you do the like behavior correction like that, you can just like the relationship ends up actually going really, really well. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Back to your thing, right? Because I think I just lost half people who are like, I'm here for personal development. Your nipple thing, right? Your nipple deal. So what you gotta do is you gotta do the nipple one, right? You holy shit. So what's she gonna say?
What?
I never noticed how big your fucking nipples were. And then what's she gonna say? What? It's like 51% negative, right? It's like, wait, what? It's not that negative, but she's like, what? And I go, no, I love it. It's great. Right? See the back and forth? Right? Just bam, 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 back and forth, right? No, it's great. I love it. I love the big nipple. It's amazing. So awesome. And then like she's like literally just let her sit in that and watch her just be like, what? The fuck? Right? Talk about a pattern interrupt, right? So you're on to the next thing. This is not the table thing. This is super simple. Literally make a nipple joke. You don't. I'm setting up like this because like I said, I like to do the whole like friend fucking thing. But like if I were you, like I'm telling you, the nipple thing, don't even make it as complex as I'm making it. I've done this many times, so I'm setting this whole thing up with the holy fuck. She's like, what? Your fucking nipple. Or like if I really want to go crazy, I'll be like, your areolas, they're awesome. What does that even mean? Like say stuff that you don't know what it means and it's gonna work well to the girl. Holy shit. What? Your areolas. Like that's you know how I get these double makeouts? Like with these girls, I do these 3-way makeouts. Like my start to all my threesome game is, you know she's got a really cute areola. You say she got a cute nipple, you got a good boob, a good whatever, and all of a sudden the girls are like, ew, you're a pervert. But areola is such a weird word that they're like, wait, does she? I go, yeah, but it's a really cute areola. And then she's like, oh, let me see. Okay, and then like, it's now like a scientific expedition. Like it's now, like medically, we need to see her areola now.
Like give her a breast exam.
Yeah, and I say, oh, but and then she like starts rubbing her the areola, but covering the nipple. I go, yeah, cover the nipple. I don't need to see that shit. Put that fucking shit away. I don't need to see your dirty ass fucking nipple. Oh, really? You don't want to see it? And what did you say? You tell. That's why I think direct game is stupid, because you tell the girl to do something, and what does she immediately want to do? The opposite. So let's play along. If that's what you wanted to make you happy, I'll do it. I don't give a shit, right? So literally, the girl's nipple's out, right? So I'm like, no, put it away. And she's like, I don't need to see that fucking dirty ass shit. I don't need to see that right now. I'm a God-fearing man. Don't laugh that hard. Yeah. So anyway, the point is, I'm gonna put the fucking nipple away. So she's like, no, and then she's like moving the nipple. She's like, nipple. In fact, I can actually like do that now. It's creepy. Nipple, right? And so then she's like, so I go, oh, the areola, it feels good, right? And the girl's like, yeah, it feels good, because all areolas feel great. And I go, oh, it's funny though, your finger's too coarse. That's why. Do you guys notice I put a lot of these like verbal ellipses, ellipsi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that do? It causes them to what? Chase and participate back in the conversation. You want buy-in into the conversation.
It's like forced investment.
Exactly. Forced investment. Investment is attraction. You use value to get it. This should be like right up your alley, Jarrett, right? Yeah. Good. You're better off than most people then. You're better off than like 90% of the typical audience. Go for it. I'm going to come back to your thing as well, right? Because there's like 3 more things you have to say to actually close the deal, but the nipple thing is a good start. Hopefully that's not the same moment. I'm creating that dynamic. You understand? Like a lot of these things that I'm telling you guys to do that guys are like, but what about this? I'm like, no, I hope that fucking situation happens. But you also got to understand, I'm also flirting with my 45-year-old Hispanic valet attendant at my apartment building, right? I'm like, after I pull out from the girl, within 30 minutes, we hop up, we go to the brunch or whatever. I'm waiting for my car from the valet person. Like she's 45 years old, 50-year-old, like old Hispanic chick or Filipino. The whole time, like, oh, kamusta ka, maganda ka, mahal kita, right? Let me speak Tagalog in here. No, like I'm just like, I love you. Oh, you're sexy as fuck. Blah blah. Let me speak Portuguese. I'm like, oh, go shoot you pa bosata, muito muito agora. It means I want to suck a lot of your pussy right now. The whole like whatever like race that she is, like I'm pia young do fa. Like I'm just like saying like these like flirts and all these different I mean obviously the race that she is. But the point is whatever girl that comes up between me pulling out of her and then us actually eating the brunch, right? I'm flirting with at least 10 girls in between there and where I am in the brunch. We walk in, the hostess is there. Oh, you again? When are you gonna fucking run away with me? What? When are you gonna run away with me and make a fucking honest man out of me? This is crazy. And the girl I just fucked is right here. She looks at me for half a second and goes, what? And then I go, hold on a second, seriously? You never called me again, what the fuck? And I look at the girl, I look at the girl that that I just fucked, and I'm like, this fuck, you gotta watch out for this one. Dude, seriously, she'll fuck you, she won't call you. And the whole time they're just like, what? But I've clearly done this plenty of times with the girl, right? With the hostess or whatever. The whole point is I'm trying to create that atmosphere, right? If you wait to create that atmosphere, you're fucked. Right? I have a very specific, this gets crazy. Anybody know who Taz Angel is? I think I talked about the free tour. Anybody know who Taz Angel is? Any of the young guy now? Like my whole thing is I'm like building this Taz Angel setup, and like in order for a girl to climb in the ranks of the Taz Angel setup, she needs to fuck the other girl that's in it, right? So, like there's no, like having that mentality, you can't, on October 7th and 8th is really when I'm gonna turn the screws on this Taz Angel thing. But anyway, that's a separate thing. The point is that I'm trying to create this crazy setup. I'm trying to create this sexual thing back and forth. I'm trying to, like, if anything, I'm like the girl's mad. I go, what? Look, at least tell her she's got a good butt. Like, look at it. I know it doesn't look good in this outfit, but she's got a sexy ass, right? So I'm trying to create this whole thing. If you set it up ahead of time, you're golden. If you wait a day or two, now you're this creepy pervert. Do you understand? It's like threesome. It's like, anybody been married before, have a fiance? Anybody a long-term relationship, whatever, right? Imagine like several months in that relationship, you're just like, hey, I kind of want to fuck your best friend Stacy. She'd fucking hit you. She'd be like, what? And especially you date the kind of girls that I date, Filipinos and Puerto Ricans and Brazilians. Oh, go fuck you. Oh, go fuck yourself, right? She'd be like, start fucking screaming at me. No, it doesn't work that way. But within minutes of you kissing her, within minutes of you pulling out of her, if you just show that's exactly who you are, she can take it or leave it, but in a very friendly way, she's going to take it 100% of the time. Right? To the point where I would actually, even on my same night lays, I'll get them to escalate on each other. Why? Because when I'm in the social circle, right, the quickest way to burn your social circle is go beast mode to other people's social circles. If you win, great, but like if you don't, you just fucked yourself, right? So when you're getting them to escalate on each other, and then you pull back, to the point where you're just like, oh man, stop. Put it away. Stop. A little more. Come on. Turn. Stop doing that. Right? But they're escalating on each other. I get all the benefit of the sexual escalation without me being the one who's doing the physicality. And there's no validation sent from my way to her. Do you understand? So I get to save all that validation points for when it's time to actually pull. Do you understand? It's super beautiful. When I first learned that, I was like, fuck, I'm never touching girls again. This is amazing. Here's the thing, it's kind of like provider and lover, right? Just because a girl sees you as a provider does not mean that she doesn't see you as lover. So just because she looks at him as like a relationship guy, which she clearly at minimum looks at him as a guy that she wants to date at some level, right? That doesn't mean that she doesn't see him as a sexual guy either. Yeah, so the technique though, because that's a little more what you're looking for, is condescension, right? You'll be super condescending to her. So every time she like even gets a little bit flirty with you, be like, no! I told you again! It's not gonna happen. But like super condescending. Like you say it, but then you look around and you just like smirk to your left and your right. You're like, no! I told you! It's not gonna fucking happen. Right? Does that make sense? Because that way you're tooling her, that's where the condescension is, because you're looking like left and right. And then she starts talking, be like, shut up! I said, no, not today. Right? And like treat her like if she's gonna be like that, just treat her like a child, like super big child. And now suddenly she's not gonna stop you. I do. Usually I just fuck them, and then it's not a problem. Because if you fuck them, now suddenly you're not the relationship guy. Every day that you see them and you don't fuck them, they're like, oh, well, he now can't fuck Stacy, Sarah, Jackie, right? Because now like that's my guy that I'm like that she is like on the burner or something. No. He did the right thing, and he should have fucking told her about the nipple thing. He should have did my nipple trick, right? He should not have you never want to find out where a girl stands, because she's never going to be standing where you want her to stand, ever. It's even if like she likes you. I've done that in the past where I'm just like, so I just want to like figure out what's happening here. What's going it took me like many lays, like well over 50 before I stopped doing stupid shit like that. My first few abortions was no, not my first few abortions. I was like, I had to end up. For some, like you get really attached. You get like your lay count's less than 20, and like like you knock 2 girls up, like all of a sudden they tell you, the first thing comes out of your mouth is, will you be my girlfriend? What? No, that's the last thing I should do at this. Like, no, I should find a fucking staircase or something. No, what are you talking? Joking. Tosh.0, remember Tosh.0? Okay, there you go. Exactly.